kid in the 80s.
Welcome, 80s Allies! We're back for our long-term show.
Yes.
You know, sometimes we don't do post-produced shows because we have been pushing 80s Allies live weekly on Wednesdays from 6:30 to 7:30 for I don't know how long we've been doing that.
No, but it's available on Facebook. So by all means, go and like our Facebook page if you already haven't. Link is right there at the bottom of your screen right now. Check that out. And then weekly on Wednesday evenings at Eastern Time at 6:30, you can go on there and watch us, and we'll talk about what's in the news, what's been going on that has some sort of possible relation to the 80s or what have you.
It gives us an opportunity to be a lot more topical and to go a little bit more in depth in certain things that we don't normally get to on the show. Unlike today's show, where we actually went out in the field and we did some stuff.
We did. We absolutely did. But before we do that, for the folks that have not been joining us live and haven't seen us in a while, how have you been?
Oh, I'm here.
Good.
How have you been?
Well, hanging in there, doing our thing.
Yeah, we've got many projects coming up and going down the pike. Just hang on to your seats, because everything that we told you was going to be happening is actually happening.
It is happening. Yeah, that's a good thing. So, nevertheless, this particular episode is going to be focusing pretty hard on an event that took place a few months ago, which is Comic Book Day.
Yay!
Now, I am not much of a comic guy.
No, of course not.
I don't have an enormous history with comics or what have you the way you do. So perhaps you should explain to the Allies what Comic Book Day is all about.
Comic Book Day, I believe, is either the first... no, I think it's the second Saturday in May. Somebody in the comments is going to correct me on when Free Comic Book Day is. But it's a Saturday in May. I do know that much. Mm-hmm. But it's when they release all the next year comic books, what's coming up, what to look forward to. It's also a great opportunity to engage readers, and it's special.
Yeah. Now, when did you first get into comics?
I first got into comics when I was 4.
Wow, so you were long term. You were right from
4 or 5. The thing about comic books, and I think I allude to it, and you know what? Since you asked me that question, why don't we go to the videotape and you'll learn more about how much I love it.
All right, well, let's do this. We actually were visiting with the fine folks at Comics Connection in Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania. They're our local comic shop.
Our local comic shop.
So let's take you there for Comic Book Day. We'll be back.
We are inside my childhood comic book shop. I've been coming here for close to 25 years, and as you can see, it still looks the same as it ever has been. So come with me as we walk up and down the aisles and reminisce to what made me want to read as a child.
I'm one of the dedicated counter monkeys here at Comics Connection, and I've been here ever since Free Comic Book Day of 2015.
So what is Free Comic Book Day?
It's a celebration of comics that happens the first Saturday in May, usually, though the last couple years it's been fraud, for obvious reasons. But this year, May 7th, it's happening the traditional day, and it's kind of a way that every store can celebrate comics. They usually give away free comics that are specially printed for Free Comic Book Day.
Now, what is the importance of Free Comic Book Day to other comic book retailers such as this store and other stores around the country?
I mean, it really is a great way to reach out to new readers, a great way to introduce new people to new titles, because we usually have a sale. It's a great way to get people to try new stuff. and it's definitely the most heavily trafficked day of the year for me.
We're standing here with Nikki, who has been behind this counter for well over 2-3 decades at this point.
20 years, yeah.
20 years. Now, for those of you who don't know, this location used to be at another location. Why don't you tell us about the old location?
So this particular location was in the Camp Hill Mall before. We used to be across from Barnes & Noble, where when you walked into Barnes & Noble, if you kept going into the mall, because back then you could do that, you would run into us. So get your books, then get your picture books. It worked out very well for everybody. And that's where we were when I started. And then as that mall was kind of converting to a strip mall, we got moved down the row into this tiny little place about the size of my hands, which was kind of a problem for us because we have a lot of stuff to fit in there. So we moved out here on our own onto the Pike several years ago, like 12. I'm bad at time, especially these days after the pandemic. I have no sense of time. So we'll say 12 with a big ish. And we've been there ever since. I really love telling people to read good books. Like, it's just, I do it even when I'm not in this store. I was just up visiting some friends this weekend. We stopped in a bookstore and I could not stop myself from turning around to a kid who was looking for a book and being like, I saw that they have the Book of 3 over there, which is the first one in Chronicles of Adrian. Did you read that yet? And all of my friends laughed. They're like, you really can't help yourself. I said, no, I like helping people find books they'll like.
So what are you looking forward to on Free Comic Book Day?
Well, we have usually more people in here than ever, so I get to be a bad influence to more people than ever, all in one day. I tend to spend my Free Comic Book days running around like a maniac. You'll see me as the one going up and down the line, shouting everything, like, almost there! Check out the stuff on your phone! Only a few more minutes. Everybody doing okay? Anybody need water? So I'm kind of the shrill out there, and then I'll be telling people to check out things as they get inside based on what they like, and bouncing around back in here to grab them as they go past it on the wall. Be like, did you see this one yet? That's the one I was telling you about. It with the such and such. You should read that. Back when comics first started, there were comics for pretty much anything. Like, you could hardly name a TV show that hadn't been adapted into a comic book back in the day. Some of the biggest readerships, the reasons why it first boomed, were soldiers in World War II took comic books with them because they were cheap and light and you could pass them around, and most of them were patriotic propaganda back in the day. So they were very popular, and then when they got back from the war, they wanted to keep reading them. So we had crime comics, horror comics, kids comics, girls comics, romance comics, boys comics, western comics. And then the 1950s happened. And the witch hunts with McCarthyism and the blacklisting, and in our particular case, Frederick Wortham in the Senate hearings.
And seduction of the innocent.
And it killed the comic book industry almost all the way down dead. So in the years since, we've kind of been clawing our way back from that, is more what it is. And then we got the 80s with, Neil Gaiman, Frank Miller, Alan Moore, all of the big, like, grown-up comic books, so to speak. And that kind of shifted people's perspective. Not because those comics hadn't existed, those types of comics, but because people hadn't been aware of them and suddenly they were. So that kind of started the trend of, expanding comics back to a more mature audience. And then since then, we've started expanding back into the kids' audience. So we're kind of just restoring what the 50s took away in terms of variety.
This is where my wife would come to buy my comic books to send overseas while I was either in Iraq or Afghanistan. So my comic book collection probably has more miles on it than most people. But it's nice to know that even in this little store in Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania, just on the Carlisle Pike, that the strong emotional connection I have for kids and what it did for me while I was in the Army and the escapism that has still continued to provide me is still totally worth it. comic book lady today?
Still got my voice, so I'm doing good.
Very well. How's this morning gone for you?
Good. We weren't sure with the rain, but we still had a pretty good turnout. The line was all the way out the door when we opened, so lots of people got some free stuff, which is always fun. And I got to talk a lot of people into trying out new graphic novels, which is always fun for me.
Always a pusher. Always a pusher. Well, I wish you the best of luck today.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Enjoy your comic book day.
Oh, thanks. So as you can see, it's still early in the morning. Free comic book day. Still brought them out. There's about 25, 30 people here. There's about 25, 30 people here, and eventually it'll fill up a little bit more. So we're wishing you the best. That cash register has not stopped since I've been here. So with the constant flow of people, I would like to say that Comics Connection is going to do well. See, one thing that I like that video better explaining things is, again, it's all true. That's where my wife went to go get my comic books to send overseas to me, which is a tried and true tradition as far as the United States military goes, and having comic books available for you overseas.
Yeah, I remember my the first comic books I had
Came out of the back of a Masters of the Universe package.
Actually, that's probably true. I was going to
Hooray!
say no. Honestly, I was going to say something else because the first full size thing I remember having was something called Spider Ham.
Oh yes, where they did the parodies.
Yeah, I remember receiving that, whether it was in an Easter basket or a Christmas stocking or something. I remember getting that, and then after that, the next full size thing I remember getting was shortly after the Transformers cartoon had stopped playing. I discovered that there was a Transformers comic book that was still going, and I bought that and
through Marvel.
Yeah, and continued with that series then until it ended.
Well, for me, it started with the Batman and Robin live action show that would come on because it was syndicated and it was really, really easy to get. Then Superman. Then I discovered Spider-Man, and then the Super Friends came on, so then you got a whole plethora, and then the Batman cartoon, and then it just stacked and stacked and stacked and stacked and stacked. But
for me, it was once Transformers ended, I didn't touch comics again until I discovered a show in the mid-'90s on MTV called The Max, which of course is based on the comic book of the same name, and I became obsessed with that story. Bought all of the comics up to that point that had come out, and then began getting the comics after that until that series ended. So
that series spoke to you.
Yeah, it really, really did. It was so fascinating, and right about the same time as when the X-Men cartoon came out on Fox.
Right.
And that gave me an interest in the X-Men, and I started to... I can't say I ever really bought a lot of comic books that were X-Men, but I got into, the things that explained their backstories and all that stuff. I would buy things like that.
Oh, their origin stories.
Yeah, that I knew who the characters were and that kind of thing.
Okay. Well, where I come from, comics has always been a huge part of my life.
Yeah.
They just have. You go with what taught you how to read, and they taught me how to read, and everything was very, very easy to follow along with. It's just, it's a good time for me. I mean, I had something a little bit more profound to say, but I guess I really don't at this moment. But I do want to thank the good people at Comics Connection for inviting us over and allowing us to shoot in their store. And
despite the fact that I'm not much of a comic buyer, I've been an enormous customer of Comics Connection for years and years and years, much like you.
Yes.
Because back in the day, there were collectible toy magazines that I would buy there.
Well, they used to have collectibles in there as well.
Yeah, they still do to a certain degree, as you saw in the video.
Yeah, they scaled down on them, but I remember that this is also not their only location. They have a location in York as well.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And they used to be in the Camp Hill Mall.
I remember that.
Years ago. And
as a matter of fact, that's where I met David Prowse, if I remember correctly, the first time.
Those...
Because I know they had the guys that were in the masks individually. Like they had him and Jeremy Bulloch, and I think they had Peter Mayhew at one time as well.
Because I was into comic books. That's the profound statement. I was into comic books from the age of 4 to about 14. And then I got interested in something called girls.
Right.
And then that's...
It's amazing how that manages to circumvent
everything.
Yeah.
And then when I turned 18 again, it's like, hey, I can read comic books again because my brain's not cluttered with goo.
Well, there's goo. Is that what we're calling it?
Yes, we're going to call it goo.
Good God. Well, we've got to... Dear Lord. We got to take a break to pay the bills. And when we come back, oh God, something interesting is going to happen. Gentlemen, looking for a classic haircut or shave in the Carlisle area? Stop into Big Daddy's Barbershop and Shave Parlor and experience that old-time feel you've been missing. Get a straight razor shave, haircut, or facial massage, or, hey, spoil yourself and get all three. We're located at 1548 Spring Road in Carlisle, right beside Brad's Pizza. Spend some time in the true man zone and relive the shops of yesteryear amongst the modern-day hustle and bustle at Big Daddy's Barbershop. Find us on Facebook or visit our website at www.bigdaddysbarbershop.com. Well, we're back, and, oh boy.
Why are we always eating stuff on this show?
Well, here's the thing. Another year has gone by, and if you remember last year, we had tried the cereals of the different monster cereals because they come out once a year as we approach Halloween. And the problem was it was missing one of them, which was this one, which was Fruit Brute.
See...
And we were not complete in our mission, is what I'm saying.
Well, the thing about Fruit Brute is I feel that this is relatively new to the line because I did not see this growing up as a child.
Believe it or not, it is from our childhood.
It is?
It is from our childhood.
I know Boo Berry, Frankenberry, and Count Chocula.
Yeah, this was around for a minute during our childhood, but it was the first one to go away.
And now they're actively trying to push...
To kill us.
Fruit-based cereal on us.
Yes.
Because 3 of those characters are fruit-based.
Yes.
That one even has fruit in the freaking name.
Yes. But notice that his eyes are X'd. So I don't know if that means that it's dangerous or what. But nevertheless, I believe.
What has Fruit Brute been doing since?
I do not know.
But
even on the back, I don't know what's going on here.
There's got to be a reason why he really likes eating cereal right now. So, I don't know what kind of condition Mr. Fruit.
I don't know. We have all 4 of the characters here, yeah. But nevertheless, last year, if you are a longtime viewer, you know we tried the other 3. And
only Adrian liked it.
Yeah, and
punch you in the face, did it?
Whoo! It sure did. It sure did. Oh Jesus! Well, I'm making a mess already.
That's fine.
Okay, all right.
I don't know how much of this I'm actually going to eat.
Well, I don't know how much of this either of us are going to eat. This could be an absolute fail. Now,
or as possibility for the flies, the fruit. It's attracting flies already.
What? Oh God! This is. Now you can. I'm assuming you can smell what I'm smelling right now, which is this.
Yes, it smells like hate.
This chemically sort of. Yes. Oh boy.
You know that pink stuff that's in insulation?
It's certainly the color that it is.
Yes. The only difference between this and insulation is the Pink Panther is not on the box.
Now, both you and I are lactose intolerant.
Yes, which is why I'm going to forgo the milk.
So you're going to forgo the milk. I figure if I'm going to suffer, I might as well suffer big time. You're right. There is damn, there's a little fly and everything. Well,
cheers,
sir, to me, to you. Cheers. Here we go.
To your health. Why is there this weird numbing
Okay, I thought I was going to be the only one that noticed that.
Yeah, you eat this and your tongue goes numb. Well, that was gross.
You know,
Shiki, would you like to introduce Hogan to the... Oh, of course, Bubba.
oh dear God.
That's what I think of you.
Well, after several
Oh,
spoonfuls...
come on, you can't tell me that's not hilarious.
My God, we've had fruit brewed everywhere. After several...
Look, we're burying Hogan.
it's about time somebody does. After several spoonfuls of this, I can say that I think this is less hateful than the other three.
Well, that's because your tongue is going numb, so you aren't tasting the aggravation.
I think my tongue is going numb from the sheer level of sugar that is in this.
Something's going on there, but
This is... First of all, it's rather unpleasant.
It's very unpleasant. It's not good.
There's definitely a chemically taste or whatever. But as you know, that we hated the other three. This one I don't hate as much as the other three. This one I would find to be the best of the four, which is not saying much. I grant you. But
again, because my tongue started going numb, I didn't get to taste half of the awfulness.
Oh God! Well, look. At least nobody can say that we were bad sports and we didn't take the full ride, which is what I was afraid of. Last year, if you recall correctly, if you watched the other one, we talked about the fact that we couldn't get Fruit Brute, which is why we didn't try it. We have corrected that error, ladies and gentlemen.
So there you go.
You can never say that we didn't go all out for you.
And now we're going to put that box in his cereal holder, and then Adrian's going to finish it for us.
Absolutely.
And we'll never have to look at it ever again.
But the reason that I bought the Fruit Brute is because we already had this segment coming up. So that was just an add-on, an hors d'oeuvre, if you will, to the main reason. Yeah, the main reason for this conversation. So there I am in the grocery store a couple weeks ago.
A wonderful place to be.
Absolutely. And I'm rounding the corner, and on one of the end caps...
You went down the toy aisle of the grocery store.
No. It was cereal aisle. It was in the cereal aisle.
Well, that's the toy aisle of the grocery store.
Is this?
And now, see, because Jim decided that he just wanted to graze over. When you go to the grocery store with your parents when you were a kid,
well, yes.
What was your favorite thing to go down?
Well, but there's also toys in the grocery store. That's why there's not many, but they're still there.
I don't count that as a toy aisle.
Okay,
this is the toy aisle.
So you're counting this is the toy aisle because of the toys that were in the boxes back in those days.
No, every kid loved going down the cereal aisle.
Yes, but only because there were prizes in the bottom of the boxes.
That was because the boxes were colorful and you had a happy face on them.
Okay, well, there's that as well.
And the eyes that were purposely staring at the child, which is really creepy. But anyway, what do we got going on?
Yeah, so I saw, what caught my eye is the orange Nickelodeon on here. And I thought, I didn't realize Nickelodeon made Apple Jacks, but they don't. But what apparently is happening here...
What a statement.
But what is going on here is this is Apple Jacks Nickelodeon slime. So this caused me to stop because I'm sure those of us of a certain age remember how important slime was to us in the 80s. And one of the big reasons is because of Nickelodeon and a show called You Can't Do That on Television, where if the kids said a certain phrase, which was I don't know, the slime would fall from the sky and coat them in goo. Well, and
also a nice little show called Double Dare that did the same.
That then took the slime and used it egregiously and so on and so forth. Well, apparently Nickelodeon is reviving slime. It's slime time. There's some word searches on the back, and there's a recipe for an Applejack slime-tastic shake.
Sounds gross.
It does. I won't be trying that. But then the other part of this is that, and this is why I bought this, turns your milk green. And I thought to myself, if there's a slime cereal, 80s Allies needs to explore it. So...
This is what we do on our free time, so you don't have to.
Yes, just remember, folks, we suffer so you don't have to. Now, so far,
That's good. That's good.
oh Jesus! So far,
That's
I'm
good.
seeing just normal Apple Jacks here. I'm not seeing anything out of the ordinary. Let's get rid of that. Well, maybe we better not put you there. Oh God. I'm going to assume you're going to skip.
You're good at this game.
I'm going to get to try the slime.
Yes, I don't feel like spending an hour and a half in the bathroom for a 5-minute segment.
Right, I got you.
Because that's what we need to find an alternative to milk, folks.
I suppose I could have bought oat milk or something like that, but I didn't. All right, now.
Well, now you're getting two different perspectives: one eaten dry and one eaten.
All right, well, let's start with the dry because I'm trying to get this to do its thing here,
Change colors.
and it's Well, go ahead. You're up first.
I do believe that
It's Apple Jacks?
that these are Apple Jacks,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just a special gimmick to turn the milk green. That's it. There's no extra flavor. There's no big surprise. It just turns your milk green.
It's just Apple Jacks. Okay,
It's just
well,
Apple Jacks.
Exactly. Well, all right. Well, here, let me. Translation. It's Apple Jacks. Okay, I've got to be honest. Of all the cereals we've tried on this show, this one is the least egregious. It's
Because it's Apple Jacks.
Yeah,
You
this
can't
one-
screw up.
Yeah,
You can
you
screw
could.
up anything.
but it's not hideous. This is not bad.
Yeah, it's not
but,
the end of the world.
But what I will tell you is the gimmick here is that it's supposed to turn your milk green, and
It's doing it.
well,
Okay. Let's look at the green milk on the box.
all right, and compare the
And
color.
Compare the color.
Yeah, that's a much darker color on the box.
Well, it's also the box.
Yeah. I'll tell you, it does what it purports to do. I don't know how well that it does it. It's an interesting gimmick. If your kids are looking at it going, ooh, ah, just show them this and maybe they will not make you buy the cereal. It's
a hell of a thing to charge an extra $1 for green milk, isn't it?
yeah. It doesn't change the flavor at all. Not that I can tell. And
No, it tastes like Apple Jacks.
No, I mean, I'm not a huge Apple Jacks guy, but nothing here is particularly out of the ordinary to me, other than the fact that the milk is green.
What do you call a ghost that's been slimed?
I don't know.
A ghoul.
Well, then.
What's the slimiest kind of dessert?
I don't know.
Key slime pie.
Well, in order to eliminate this from continuing, folks, if you enjoy our theme song, you know that it's
I went to a bar and pulled out a 12-inch pianist, and the bartender said...
Wait, I'm
"How's
sorry,
it-"
you pulled out what?
A 12-inch pianist.
On that note, folks, if you like our good friend Colby Dove, who does our theme song Kid in the 80s, and you happen to be local to us, this is where you can see him.
Do you think he has a 12-inch pianist?
We played outside.
Well, we're back, and, this whole comic book day thing did not escape our buddy Adrian.
No, it did not, because...
Why don't you describe the comic? Because you brought a comic for him to take a look at that
I-
I'd never seen before.
I did. I got this promotional comic book when I was 6 or 7, and I had many different copies of this comic book. This was actually the first copy of the comic book I legitimately bought because they were given to me while I was in grade school. But you know what? Why don't we have Adrian?
Well,
take over?
before we go to that though, it was the comic specifically is an
It's an anti-smoking comic.
Yeah, an anti-smoking comic book. And, since Adrian is an avid vapor, we thought maybe.
Oh, is that why we did it?
I mean, that's why I agreed to the segment.
Well,
I thought maybe.
I had a friend who's involved in public safety, and I figured that this would be an extension of his goodwill.
Nevertheless, I was very interested to see if Adrian would be positively impacted by this comic book. And, well...
Yo, Adrian! We don't have any film! Flip them pages!
This is Adrian Starr. We're doing Over the Top with Adrian Starr. And today I'm going to be reviewing Spider-Man and Storm and Power Man. Battle of Smokescreen. Yeah, they're gonna battle Smokescreen. If you don't know, this was like a PSA to stop smoking. Yeah. Okay. All right. Oh, see? Yeah. Power Man. I wonder why they call him Power Man. They're just gonna call him Luke Cage. This is weird. Yeah, that's okay. Yeah. Good thing about stop smoking. Nobody should be smoking. This is crazy. Yep. I think Carl needs a cigarette. Wait a minute. Is he climbing a wall? I know Luke Cage climb walls. Nobody should be smoking. This is terrible. It's absolutely terrible. Oh, here the PSA. This is before they had Dare. I dare y'all to read this, and it makes sense. I mean, the best part about this so far is Storm, because I mean, she was hot. She was real hot. She was hot. It was hot. Yeah. Okay, yeah, here we go. Smokescreen. Yeah, this is just crazy. Oh, somebody got a gun. Somebody got a gun. You know what happens. You hear gunfire. Everybody takes off running. Everybody. Black, white, Hispanic, whatever. Everybody takes off running. If you see a black dude running from a gunshot, you should follow him. It's illegal. Just saying. PSA. And Smokescreen, you know that's not smoke. That's what you know who that is? That is Pigpen from the Peanuts. All that's Pigpen. That is Pigpen. I don't care what nobody says. That is Pigpen. That's Pig. See, that's body funk. Spider-Man, Spidey senses are going off because he says you smell like open ass. Yeah, Brian's decision. It's a big thing. Like, you see that, Brian? You don't need to be smoking, Brian, because you know what I'm saying. You ain't gonna get no special powers. That's crazy. I don't understand it. Like, I would like smoking and all that other stuff. Yeah, it's the end of the day. Why is that blank? Oh, they got fun facts. Did you know cigarette smoke is made up of 2,000 different elements? Is that 2,000 elements on the periodic table? No. Yeah, you know I'm smart. That's what it is. Yeah. So I just got finished reviewing, Spider-Man and Storm and Power Man, which Luke Cage. Why didn't it just say Luke Cage? In the Battle of Smokescreen, it was a PSA about not smoking because smoking is absolutely dangerous and you shouldn't smoke, children. You should not smoke because, it's bad for you. But, here we go. kind of shit with that. I don't care what nobody's telling me. That was Pigpen from the Peanuts. Y'all know who Pigpen is. He smelled like ass all the time. He was a dirty one. He was one walking around with dust and stuff. They filmed it that, or they animated it that way because he was nasty. Everybody looked light skinned. Everybody. There was no super dark people. Like, you know what I'm saying? I ain't got an issue with that. I'm just saying, like, y'all should look into that. Talk to some folks. See what's going on. They was treating cigarettes like somebody was offering meth or coke. Like, you know, what? Huh? They gave Luke Cage. Oh, I'm sorry. I can't say Luke Cage because you're not supposed to know that's Luke Cage. They wouldn't use the name Luke Cage back then. I don't know why they wouldn't. That he could climb walls. What the hell was up with the metal headband, too? Like, I'm trying to figure out, like, because he had the afro and the head. Oh, yeah, okay. Too much. No, Stan Lee, forever be missed. And this was, I guess, an attempt to pull kids away from the lures of smoking because, you know, smoking's bad, okay? But Marvel, bless your heart. Bless your heart. That was Luke Cage. Power Man. Luke Cage. Luke Cage. Storm was fine in his hell. I'm saying that. So y'all don't like Storm. If in real life and y'all somebody want cosplay, call me. I'm available.
You know, I don't think it did its job. Adrian seemed to be. I think there was more vape in that segment than we've ever seen in an over-the-top segment before.
Well, you know, smoking is supposed to cure anxiety and stress, and now we know what's going on in Adrian's head.
I wonder if it has anything to do with Lairman and the constant attacks or anything.
He doesn't provide anxiety and stress. He provides information and entertainment. It just happens that Adrian gets in the way a lot.
Is the butt of the joke.
Yes, that's his fault, not ours.
Poor Adrian. Well, you know, Adrian did at least review the comic for us, and good Lord, I don't think he's going to be giving up vaping anytime soon, though.
Probably not.
No. Well, you know, what can you do? We have so many things coming up.
Do we?
We do. We do. We should probably tell the audience about what we've got coming up, because great things coming sooner or later. Folks, there's a wrestling event that is local to us called A Night to Remember. We have been graciously asked to record the event. Now, if you remember back during the pandemic, Attic Light also did work for Superstar Wrestling, our friends at Superstar Wrestling. So we are going to go ahead and record that event. And when you want to see it, it will be here. It will be on this channel to see. So by all means, if you're not local and you want to see a great wrestling event, the event takes place live October 15th. We're going to be recording it, editing it down, and it will end up on this page for any of our good friends to see out there around the world. And there are some great matches and some great indie wrestling. Support indie wrestling, shop small, all that jazz. And it's going to be a great event that you and I are going to be commentating on.
Are we? Is that what we're doing?
We are. And I
we're
think
going to be sitting there doing what we do best.
Talking.
Yes. Because we can't physically do anything else anymore.
Absolutely. It's going to be a great time. So, and if you happen to be in the local area, by all means, check out A Night to Remember, too. But that's not all we've got going on. We've got podcasts that are starting
We had a podcast trickle out, and right now there's 4 episodes up. It is called Behind the Red Light, where you and I sit down and have a frank conversation about what it's like going to the Nevada brothel system.
Yes, it's a very adult show. It's very different from this one. So kids, get your parents' permission before you dare listen to that and all that jazz. But it's a very informative thing, and we're not there to endorse, support, anything like that. We're just there to be an information source and that sort of thing.
Yeah, we're actually here just to endorse the show, not to endorse what the show is endorsing.
Absolutely, yeah, that kind of thing. So that's there. We recently did the opening of the Tatted Toy Guys' new location. It was right down the street from their old one, but it's a much bigger location. And we are going to be, at our next episode, highlighting the Tatted Toy Guys. So if you missed that opening, if you missed that live stream on Facebook, don't worry. We're going to get you all caught up with things going on with the Tatted Toy Guys coming up. So many good things down the pike. And there may just be, there's rumblings of a Christmas episode.
You're full of information today.
I am.
Yes, there is rumblings of a Christmas episode and a Christmas story.
Yes.
But we're going to have
We're going to leave it at that.
We're going to leave it at that. Just like we're going to leave at doing more business with Mr. Colby Dove down the road.
Absolutely. So plenty of things coming down the road, folks. We want to, as always, thank you for joining us here. There are literally millions of entertainment options out there these days for everyone.
And you are choosing us, and we appreciate it, and thank you.
Absolutely.
And
thank you all so much. We will be back soon.
And part of that thank you is we've got other things coming down the way because we want to keep you properly entertained, properly informed, and give us something properly to do.
Absolutely. So, for
Properly.
Larry, this is Jim. For Jim, it's Larry. We will see you next time, allies.
outside with sticks and dirt till the sun fell from the sky. But knowing half the battle made us more than meets the eye. It was dangerous to go alone unless you had a wooden sword. The only selfies that we took were made with Polaroid. Time will come and time will go. The years will pass us by. When I think about it, it always makes me smile. You might think the decade you grew up in was the greatest. There was nothing better than growing up as a kid.